I'm Rhett with Custom Built, and today we're gonna be talking all things roofing. Have you ever driven down the road and you've seen roof after roof after roof of asphalt dimensional shingles and you've wondered, why is that the most popular shingle in Michigan? We're gonna talk about why that's the most popular type of shingle used on a roof. Stick around to the end. We're gonna talk about the second most popular as well here in Michigan. But let's start with the asphalt shingle. Why is it called an asphalt shingle? The top is not asphalt, right? Maybe you look at it and you're like, that doesn't look like the road I drive on. Correct. But underneath these little granules right here is a layer of asphalt. You have a fiberglass mat on the bottom, you have asphalt caked on top of that, and then you have the granules on top of that. Think about your road, think about your driveway. They get beat up all the time. Yes, there's, you know, you're not gonna have cars driving on your roof, but you got cars driving on the road, you have weather, you have precipitation, you have UV rays is a big one that affects the longevity of asphalt. With a roof, we want to protect that. We want to make this last as long as possible. And so that's the biggest reason why granules are used, is to protect that asphalt layer. Surprisingly, this type of shingle can hold up very well to all different types of climates. So they're adding in rubbers, plastics, and man-made polymers to allow for better expansion and contraction. Another question that we get asked from time to time is, what about the kind of longevity or durability of the roof? I feel like maybe other shingles, Rhett, are gonna last a lot longer. The answer to that question is yes, there are materials out there that have a little bit better durability, and we're gonna talk about that towards the end of the video. But we need to talk about something called impact rating. Within the asphalt shingle realm, there are 4 different ratings that they call impact ratings. So at the lowest tier is a 1, at the highest tier is a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How do they determine that? What they do is at the factory, they'll take a 2-inch steel ball and they'll actually drop it from 20 feet. And depending on what kind of damage it does, depends on what rating they give it. Now, you might be wondering, like, okay, in Michigan, what do I need? Traditionally, a normal shingle, like what we're standing on here, is impact 2. So it can take about 3/4 to an inch hail before it's damaged to the point where you might get water intrusion. But I know more and more homeowners are trying to go to class 3 or class 4 impact rated shingle. An impact 4 rating is equivalent, it's the same rating as a metal roof. So obviously gonna be a little bit more expensive, but it's gonna be able to take up to 2-inch hail. And if you have a lot of trees around your house that's constantly dropping debris, you might want to consider an impact 4 rated shingle. Something else I want to talk about as well, have you ever noticed like the black streaks that are on roofs specifically in Michigan? And ever wondered what on earth, why does that roof look so ugly? The answer is black algae. It's actually a living organism that, due to Michigan humidity, climate, I know in Colorado, they don't have it. Like there's no issue there. But here in Michigan, it seems now like every other roof has this. So when you get a new roof, a question I'm always asking if I'm a homeowner is like, how do I, not spend all this money and then in 5 years have the black streaks? And the answer is it depends on what kind of shingle you go with. There are certain shingle companies and tiers that are ahead of the game and that are saying, ooh, yeah, we don't want to have people calling us in 5, 10 years saying like, hey, why did, I spend all this money and now my roof looks ugly? To be clear, it's aesthetic. It's not actually affecting the longevity of your roof. But also to be clear, it's ugly. You can mix copper, not that you can see it, maybe right now you're picturing your copper pipes in your basement and you're like, I don't see no copper pipes up here. No, it's broken down, and they use, depending on the shingle, but between 5% and 12% of the actual granules is copper. In America, there are only 9 different shingle manufacturers. So maybe you've been to Home Depot and you've seen the little pink panther, that's Owens Corning. If you've been in mid-Michigan long enough, maybe you've heard of Certainteed or Atlas or GAF. These are common brands that are used in asphalt roofing. How do you know which one to pick? Which one's best for your roof? Some have different properties, some have different nail zones, some have different shim overlaps. Knowing which one is right for your home is specific based on your needs, the amount of trees that you have around, and sometimes it comes down to color and aesthetics as well. So what type of homeowner is an asphalt dimensional shingle good for? The answer is, in Michigan, probably almost everybody, especially now that there's 4 tiers of impact ratings and you can get a warranty up to 50 years. It's a very good fit, especially if you're on a budget. But if you feel like maybe this isn't the aesthetic that you're going for, then the second best option in Michigan is metal roofing. Now there's metal shingles out there. Those I feel like haven't been tested and true over the years, but it is an option. But the metal panels, you can get standing seam, and those are the ones where there's no fasteners and they actually fasten the seams together, or you can get the ones with the fasteners. They're a little bit more cost effective, but you also have a lot of fasteners running through your roof. So if you are into maybe the aesthetic side of things and you're like, ooh, I like the aesthetics of a metal roof, then that's probably the way you want to go. Just know 2 things. Number 1, it is gonna be a little bit more cost prohibitive, so it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. And then number 2, the biggest thing I think as a homeowner that I'm thinking through is hail. So let's say you get a hailstorm and you have this brand new, maybe it's a $90,000 standing seam black metal roof, and now you walk outside and it looks like your kids just whipped a bunch of rocks at it. You want to contact your insurance company ahead of time and make sure that your coverage covers hail damage, because a lot of times companies will, insurance companies will put a little caveat, like we'll cover it if it's dented on the seams, which a lot of times the hailstorms in Michigan are like big enough to dent the flat panels, but not the seams. So make sure you look into that before you buy a metal roof. That's a wrap for today. Check out callcustombuilt.com for more videos and content. I'm Rhett, I'm with Custom Built. Thanks for watching.